Good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug Behind the Scenes for Thursday, October 19th, 10 o'clock in the morning. Similar situation to almost every morning this week in that my laptop is busy exporting a video, and while it's doing that, I'm kind of hamstrung as far as the laptop is concerned. I want to edit the next video or upload a video or do other things, but I can't while it's exporting. I basically have to wait until it's done. So that gives me an hour to have a cup of coffee and chat about a few things that may be on my mind. Technology, of course. Technology problems are always on my mind, and I have a couple small ones, I guess, that I'm thinking about. One is that I recently talked about how YouTube fixed a problem in the YouTube Studio app, that inside YouTube Studio, the one thing you cannot do in that app is upload a video. And that always struck me as very weird, because it seems like that would be the most important feature of YouTube Studio, is to upload videos, and that's the one thing you weren't able to do. And then just after I was talking about that in a previous behind the scenes video, YouTube added an upload button. And I talked about that and how amazing that was that they finally added a upload button. And then I went looking for it today, and it's gone. It's just not there anymore. They removed it. It was there. It was a very short-lived feature. Maybe there was something wrong with it, or I don't know what's going on. But I was going to upload a video today from my phone. Talk about that in a second. And then there was no upload button. So I was like, yeah, it's gone. I've gone to all the pages. You've got a dashboard page. You've got a content page, analytics, comments, all these different tabs and pages, and the upload button is nowhere to be found. I thought maybe I had to download a new version of the Studio app, but there is no new version. There's nothing I can do. They just added it, and then they took it away. YouTube giveth and YouTube taketh away. And I ran into other problems because with my laptop, as I said, it's limited in what it can do in terms of processing power, and I've discovered lately that if I'm uploading a video from my laptop, it makes my video editing program run really slowly. I don't know why that would be. It seems like just having a Google Chrome tab open and all it's doing is uploading a video to YouTube. It feels like it could do that and edit a video at the same time, but lately for some reason it hasn't been able to do that. So yeah, the editing program just freezes and stutters and it lags so badly you can't really get anything done. So I was going to go back to an older system I had of uploading videos from my phone, and that frees up my laptop. You know, if I have a video here uploading, then my laptop isn't busy doing that. So this morning, one of the first things I did, I've got a bit of a backlog of behind the scenes videos that I've been recording and editing and exporting, but I haven't been able to upload them. So I thought, okay, let's get this figured out. And I copied all the behind the scenes videos to my phone, and I'm going to upload from my phone. So I thought, okay, let's do that. And then, so I couldn't do it from Studio, as I said. So I went to YouTube, my main YouTube app, and there you do have an upload button. It's down at the bottom in the middle of the screen. So I very happily went to upload, and then upload video. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, probably not, but this is a list of all the videos on my phone. And this drives me crazy as well. Oh, if I could get into a boardroom at YouTube, man, would I give them a piece of my mind. Because here I am in the official upload window for YouTube, and you cannot navigate to folders. So like if you keep all of your videos and photos and files organized in a folder structure on your phone, which everyone would do, so I have all the videos to upload to YouTube in a separate folder, you'd think you could navigate to that folder. You can't. It opens up all the videos on your phone in a list with no folder structure. You cannot browse the contents of your phone. And you can only see them in thumbnail view with no video titles. So you have no idea which one is which. You can see a thumbnail and you can see how long the video is, but that's all. You can't go into different folders. And even if you could, once you opened a folder, you don't know which video is which because you can't see the video titles. You can only see the thumbnail. And that is so primitive, it boggles my mind how it is left like that, how YouTube can leave it in this state. And it's been this way, again, for years. It's been like this. It's not like it's a new problem. It's just how they designed it, and they've never gone in to change it. So that drives me crazy. And now the other problem is that the videos that I wanted to upload, I can't access them. Maybe I'll hold the screen close to the camera and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. First of all, as you can see, these are the videos that I can upload to YouTube, but there are no folders. I can't browse my phone, and there are no video titles, so I have no idea which video is which. And in this case, the videos I want to upload are these white ones. See that white screen? And this one, those are the new videos I want to upload, and they are grayed out. I can't access them. And if I click on it, I try to select that one, nothing happens. So for whatever reason, all the videos that I add to my phone that I want to upload to YouTube, I can't access them. I can access this one, all of these ones that have thumbnails, but the new ones, this happens all the time. There's just a white screen, and I can't access them to upload them. Yeah, another technology barrier which I cannot figure out. So basically, I'm unable to upload videos from my phone. I just can't do it. Yeah, I have no idea what this is about. There must be something unusual about those videos, but I can't see what they could be. They're exactly the same as all the other videos, but for whatever reason, the YouTube app isn't able to access them. And when you do click on one of those white, the white empty thumbnails, you get a message that says, failed loading video from camera roll. Failed loading video. All the other ones will work, but these ones will not. And I don't know why. Something I'm going to do today as an experiment, which I don't know if I've done it. I may have done it once, but would have been so long ago. I'm going to install YouTube Studio on my tablet. If it's not there already, I can't remember if I have it on the tablet or not. Let's take a quick look. No, I do have YouTube Studio. See if it has, it has an upload button. It says you can now upload directly from Studio, and the Studio app here doesn't have an upload button. I have to upload directly from YouTube itself, but here on YouTube Studio on my tablet, it does have an upload button. And I'm going to copy the video files to my tablet and try to upload them from my tablet. And maybe that will be a workaround. If it doesn't work from my phone, maybe it will work from my tablet. Why there would be a difference, that I cannot tell you. Another technology problem that I think I've solved involves my Olympus camera, because I have 3 batteries for this camera, and this is my battery charger that comes with the Olympus camera. This is the original Olympus charger, and then it has some contacts here at the front of this slot, and you take your battery and then you slide it in and it goes into place. But the batteries haven't been charging lately. I put it in, it's got a light here, and the light will turn yellow A steady yellow means it's charging. Flashing yellow means there's a problem. And then no light at all, of course, is another problem. And lately, I've had this problem because I will put it in, get a solid yellow light, and then I'll go out for the day, go get lunch, do something, and by the time I get back, I think the battery will be fully charged. But when I come back, the light will be out, but the battery will be empty. It won't have charged because I'll get a charging light for like 2 minutes, and then it goes out and it stops charging, and I didn't know why. But I've done some experimenting, and I think I figured out the problem is that over time, the spring on the contacts have gotten weaker, so they don't press against the battery's contacts as firmly. So I put it in, they'll make a connection, but then somehow the connection is lost. So what I figured out is that when I put the battery in, I slide in a little piece of cardboard, a shim basically. That word, a shim, should be familiar to anyone in kind of a mechanical world or woodworking or anything like that. I put this shim in there, and then I put in the battery, and it pushes it against the spring, against the contacts more firmly, and it pushes the battery forward, makes a more solid contact, and now it charges up fully. So I'll eventually design a better shim than this piece of cardboard, but it works for now. So one technology problem solved per day, while 3 new ones crop up out of nowhere. Yeah, that's how life goes. The other day I mentioned that I was working on a official Planet Doug video, not a behind the scenes video, but a Planet Doug video about going to an area south of Padang, Sumatra called Mande. And I was having a lot of fun with that because the Lost Boys, a very popular duo of YouTubers, they also visited that area, and I was able to watch their video from that area while editing my own video of my experiences in that same area. And in the last video, I ended with the conclusion that after watching their video, I kind of lost interest in editing my own because their experiences were so high energy and so much fun and exciting, whereas my experiences were much more sedate and laid back. And as like my video, the wind left my sails in terms of having energy for working on it. However, once I got back to it, to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it. It's different. I mean, it's not popular, obviously, but I do enjoy my own videos from that point of view, where I was talking about the Lost Boys video where they went to the beautiful places. Like, I didn't even know about Mande. I didn't even know it was a thing. All I knew was I wanted to ride my scooter down the coast. But the Lost Boys, they knew that area, Mande, they knew it had a name. I didn't even know it had a name, but they knew it was a well-known area where tourists would go to see beautiful scenery, to look at the sunset, to go out to the islands, to do these, island hopping trips. I didn't even know about that when I went there. It all came as a surprise to me. So they did all these fun things, and they had a drone to get all the beautiful cinematography from the air. And all I did was ride my scooter down the coast. So that's what my video is about. But what I like about my video when I'm watching it, my own, it's me, of course. It's like I'm looking in a mirror, listening to myself speak. So that's probably why it's interesting to me. But at least my video starts at the beginning and ends at the end. So it starts with me at my guest house in Padang on the scooter, and I'm leaving. And since it's happening in real time, I just do a linear video. It's not like I'm jumping around from one time to another. It starts at the beginning of my day and ends at the end of my day. And the video is like it's happening in real time. As I'm discovering things, the video is discovering these things. And yeah, I guess that's kind of what I like about it. And as I'm riding the scooter, I'm talking about different things. I'm telling little stories. You know, for example, there's a part of the video where I stop for gas, and then I get back on the scooter, and then I'm riding down the road, and then I'm telling the story, some interesting elements about getting gas, like how that whole experience worked out. For example, I tell the story about getting too much change, and I didn't realize it. You know, I got the gas, I gave the guy some money, he gave me change, and I'm moving so fast because I don't want to hold up the line. I just grab the change and roll my scooter out of there. And then later on, I'm putting the change in my wallet, and I'm like, wait a minute, he gave me way too much money. He gave me too much change. And then what do you do in that situation? Because this happens all the time. I either get too much change or not enough change. One or the other happens all the time. And then if you go back to the clerk, gas station attendant or store clerk, and then you go back up and try to talk to them and explain, oh, you gave me too much money, it's an impossible thing to explain. It ends up being so confusing. And they just assume, like if a customer comes back to them, they just assume the customer's unhappy. They make the assumption that I'm complaining about not getting enough change, right? So I'm trying to say, no, you gave me too much, and I'm trying to give them money back. And you can imagine that makes no sense. And you just end up in this whole complicated, confusing situation. So I've developed the habit of just doing nothing. If I get too much money back, I let it go. If I don't get enough money back, I let it go, and I figure it all evens out. And I basically told that exact story while I'm riding my scooter. And that's why my video is so long, because I'm talking as I'm shooting the video. And the Lost Boys won't do that. They only shoot the activities that they're in the middle of. I guess I shoot the activity I'm in, getting gas, and then I tell the story of getting gas. And the storytelling is 5 times longer than the activity. And I'm telling stories of what happened yesterday, telling stories about things I'm thinking about. So I'm not even done my video yet, but at the moment it is 2 hours long. And lately, in the last couple of months of the life on Planet Doug, I've really been embarrassed about the length of my videos, and I keep thinking it's so ridiculous to make such long videos. Like, try to make them shorter, and this has been on my mind as a topic. And as I talked about earlier, I took one of my long videos and chopped it up into shorter segments. I did that as an experiment. And I've been thinking about just shooting video differently so that I have less video at the end of the day. Just try to be like the Lost Boys, be more active, be more outgoing, shoot less video, but more focused video, and that will end up producing a shorter video in the end. So I've been thinking about that, and it's been bothering me. But then yesterday or the day before, the last couple of videos, I just said, forget about it. Just edit the video you have and post it. However long it is, post it. Just let the world sort it out. So this video, which is probably going to end up being 2 hours long, I'm just going to post the whole 2 hours. I'll finish editing it, export it, and post a typical 2 hour long Planet Doug video. And who knows, maybe that is my niche on YouTube, where someone watching my video, their experience is different from watching an ordinary video, because you don't have to sit there and just watch it the whole time. You can just run the video, and then you can walk away from your computer, walk away from your phone, and then you can just come back 20 minutes later and just pick up where you left off, just sort of let it play in the background, and just tune in once in a while to see what's going on, or fast forward, jump ahead, all that sort of thing. But anyway, my man-day video is going to be 2 hours long. And speaking of chopping up a video into short segments, I noticed that the YouTubers 2Up and Overloaded, they did that in a recent video. They landed on the island of Borneo. They took a boat from Java and they put their motorcycle onto this big ferry, big vehicle ferry, landed there. And they were going to ride their motorcycle around Borneo. But then they had this opportunity to take a houseboat cruise into the jungle, go upriver and visit some orangutan research stations. And it's a relatively expensive thing to do. I think it cost them $500 for one night in the jungle, so one night on the boat. It's like a 2-day trip, but only one night on the boat, and $500. So at first they weren't going to do it, but they talked themselves into it. And I guess the experience made such a big impression on them that they didn't want to post one big video about the whole thing. They're posting shorter segments. So each video, I'm not quite sure how long each video is. I was in the middle of watching them this morning. Yeah, they're trying to keep them under 20 minutes. So since they arrived on Kalimantan, there's a 20-minute video, a 17-minute video, a 23-minute video, and there's probably going to be one more video about the boat ride. So rather than showing the whole boat ride in one video, they're going to show it in 3 or 4 videos. And while I've been watching them, to be honest, I didn't like them. I would have preferred it if they posted one video about the whole experience rather than chopping it up, because I don't know, I think when you post shorter videos, you get into this little bit of a repetitive feeling, because every video has to have an intro and then every video has to have an outro, and they kind of inserted a cliffhanger of sorts. You know, you're watching the video and then it's like, oh, and then tonight we're going on a jungle walk at nighttime. Tune in to the next video to see that. And then you start the next video and it's got a big flowery introduction and it ends with, oh, and then tune in next time to see this. But it's all part of the same experience. And I find that gets to be a little bit much after a while. Yeah, so I would prefer it if they put it all together into one video, and I'm taking that as a lesson for Planet Doug as well. Like, if you have one experience and you shot all the video together about that one experience, well, just post the whole thing. Don't chop it up. So I think that is it for my technology and YouTube stories. Moving on to pop culture, I watched a new movie which really made an impression on me, I have to say. Whether good or bad, I'm not entirely sure yet. Yeah, kind of falls somewhere in the middle, I suppose. The movie is a relatively new one, came out in 2023. It's called No One Will Save You. Written and directed and produced, I think, all by the same guy, Brian Duffield, and starring Caitlin Dever, I think. And I'm familiar with both of those names. I know Brian Duffield more as a writer. Like, he wrote the script for Love and Monsters, for example. So you can tell he has, you know, a certain way of looking at the world and the sorts of stories he likes to tell. And Caitlin Dever, I know she's one of those actors that as soon as I saw her, I was like, I know you, but I don't know what I've seen you in, you know? And then I had to go back and look up her filmography later on. It's like, oh, okay. I remember her from that role, that role, that role. She makes an impression. And No One Will Save You is it's what they call a science fiction horror. And that's what attracted me, of course, because I really enjoy any kind of science fiction, alien kind of storyline. And that's what hooked me, and I knew nothing about it going in. If I find something a movie or TV show that interests me a little bit, some little thing about it catches my interest, I stop there. Like, I don't watch the trailers, I don't read about it, I don't want to know anything. I just want to watch it completely fresh. So if you're the same as me, stop listening to me now, because I'm going to talk about the movie a little bit. And who knows, I may give away some inadvertent spoilers as I do so. But even the most casual, reviews of the movie, mention that is a science fiction horror combined with a kind of home invasion story, because it focuses on one character in particular, Caitlin Dever, a young woman living in a house by herself, and the aliens come, and an alien comes into her house, and she has to physically fight the alien. So it's kind of like a home invasion science fiction horror story. So that's where the story begins, but there's a lot more happens over time. And then the movie takes some serious left turns, particularly at the end. And how you feel about that left turn at the end will probably dictate how you feel about the movie. And I don't think most people would enjoy it. It's not a movie for everyone, because the subject matter, for one thing, and there's essentially zero dialogue. Nobody speaks for the whole movie. Our main character, we focus on our main character. There are other people in the movie, but nobody ever speaks to anybody else. There's not a single sentence, not one conversation in the entire movie, unless you count the aliens, because the aliens talk to each other in their own language, and they're chittering and making weird noises, speaking in their own language, but of course, we don't know what they're talking about, and there are no subtitles for the aliens. They are left quite mysterious. So, yeah, it's gruesome, for sure. It's a little bit scary. So if you're not into horror and a little bit of gore and a lot of frightening scenes, this movie isn't for you. But why did it strike me so much? And it's unusual because there's no dialogue, but it's also unusual because of the portrayal of the aliens. And I'm not quite sure what that was all about. It felt a little bit disjointed to me, because on the one hand, you've got pretty much an alien storyline in a way, in that the aliens are basically evil and horrible and killing people. It's like they're trying to kill our main character, and she has to fight back and kill them in order to save her life. And you think, well, that's what the movie is about. Monstrous aliens have come to the planet Earth. And, we've seen that a million times. Most notably, the recent movie, The Quiet Place. Maybe it's not so recent, but it feels recent to me. The Quiet Place, where aliens come to Earth and they kill everyone, and the human race is faced with extinction and has to fight back against these not faceless, but horrific, vicious aliens, and all they do is kill. That's the only thing, they're like a world-conquering organism that wants to kill all humans, that has no motivation. You don't really understand them or anything. And in this movie, that's how you feel about them at the beginning. But then it turns out that the aliens are much more complex than that, and have a plan and have a certain goal, something they're trying to do. And yet, once the movie wrapped up, I'm sort of like scratching my head going, well, what is it they're trying to do? Like, what is the point of all this? I don't understand their motivations. And I think the ending, if you go there with a friend, if you go to the theater, or no, I don't think it's a streaming movie. It's not in the theaters, oddly enough. It really feels like it should be in the theater. It really should. But if you watch this movie with a friend, a cinephile, I guarantee you're both going to be sitting over whiskey or coffee or beer, and you're going to talk for an hour or two about the movie and try to figure out, like, what the heck was that all about? because you could come up with multiple interpretations about what is going on and what these aliens are doing and why they're doing it and what the point of this is and what the point of that is. There's a lot in the movie, and it would be interesting to talk to the writer and ask him, it's like, what? Like, what was the idea here? I mean, what was happening? What was the point? Because I assume he has a very clear idea, and maybe he wanted to keep it vague on purpose, or maybe he really expected his audience to understand what it was all about, and yet didn't do a good enough job at it. I'm not sure whether the way the movie ended up was a deliberate choice, or whether he just didn't do a good enough job getting his message across. Yeah, but it's a fun, if you're into horror movies, you're into science fiction, you're into Earth invasion movies, for all, going all the way back to the Body Snatchers, any movie you want to mention, this one has elements from all those movies wrapped up into one. And I think it's really well worth watching. There's a lot of innovative, unusual things about this movie, and some of the moments in the video really stand in the movie really stand out for me. The things, what the aliens look like, could be a point of contention. I've seen some people like, what? Come on, you can do better than that. But there are other moments where the aliens have a very unique look to them and very interesting to watch. Because I always have this idea about how aliens are portrayed. Again, having a long history with science fiction, this is a pet peeve of mine. Even going back to the original Star Trek and things like that, Star Wars even, where they go off into distant galaxies and corners of our universe, and every alien race they encounter looks like us in some fashion. They look humanoid. And the odds of that happening are astronomically against, right? I mean, I was actually watching watching Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this. He was being interviewed about the supposed alien bodies that were on display in Mexico. I mean, they were even presented to the Mexican Parliament, I think, and everybody was talking about them. And then one point that Neil deGrasse Tyson brought up, a point that I'm always bringing up, is just how unlikely it is that any aliens that came to the planet Earth are humanoid. And these aliens in Mexico, they're just tiny little human bodies. And as Neil deGrasse Tyson pointed out, these, skeletons basically still have a nose, like a visible nose. And if they are humanoid, they wouldn't have that, because the nose doesn't have any bones in it. It's all cartilage, and it would all rot away. So if you look at a humanoid skull, there's just a big hole where the nose should be. But these alien bodies actually still have visible noses, which makes no sense at all. So he talks about that. And he talks about, if you just look at planet Earth and think about the variety of species that live just on our planet, think of every animal, like from giraffes, like mammals, giraffes and rhinos and elephants and marmots and on and on and on. They all look so unbelievably different. Birds, every type of bird you can imagine, every type of creature in the ocean, insects. I mean, the variety of body shapes and anatomy and biology just on Earth is mind-boggling. You can't even grasp it. And then throw into that, now you're fold into that galaxies and the entire universe. So if you find life on other planets, just imagine how different they will look. They have to be. So if an alien comes to Earth and they walk off their spaceship and they look like us, no. I mean, the chances of that are unbelievably remote. So humanoid aliens are a little bit of a trope, bit of a cliche. I think any modern person can see why logically that wouldn't happen. You know, smarter science fiction movies, you know, show aliens looking radically different from us. So different, in fact, that sometimes we don't even recognize them as living creatures because their biology is based on, they're not carbon based, they're based on other chemicals, other material, you know. Anyway, in this movie, the creatures are humanoid and unusual for humanoids, but they're still looking humanoid. And I can see some people, like connoisseurs of science fiction, are probably, you could do better than that. But to be honest, it didn't bother me at all because that wasn't the point of the movie. Whatever points the movie was making was something else entirely. And then, you know, the aliens had different shapes as well, not just the classic, you know, big green head with big eyes kind of alien look to them. So, yeah, no one will save us, or no one will save you, right? No one will save you is the name of this thing, right? Yeah, no one will save you. Kind of a short movie too, which is nice. Hour and a half, 93 minutes long. And yeah, no dialogue. They don't speak at all. I'm not sure about the reception. See what people had to say about it. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia article. So it's getting 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's pretty good. Metacritic gives it 60 out of 100. For Metacritic, that's pretty good as well. And I was hoping to be able to talk about the movie Letters from Iwo Jima, because I watched, it's a Clint Eastwood film and about the battle for Iwo Jima, and he shot two movies at the same time, I guess. Flags of Our Fathers, about the American perspective on the battle for Iwo Jima, and then Letters from Iwo Jima from the Japanese point of view. And I have a copy of that movie, Letters from Iwo Jima, and I was all excited and settled in to watch it, but there were no subtitles included. So it was all, I mean, it's all in Japanese, of course, and then I assume the original movie had hard-coded English subtitles, but for whatever reason, the copy that I have has no subtitles. So I'm going to have to track down another copy or get the subtitles and add it in before I can watch Letters from Iwo Jima. So that is an upcoming pop culture reference. Rick and Morty just started a new season. I think it's season 7. I think the first episode was just released, and I'm very excited about that. The other day I was talking about this really weird and not very good movie called 57 Seconds. And while I was talking about 57 Seconds and this time travel trope of being able to go back in time just so you can relive something and avoid mistakes. So if you want to do something, you can go back over and over and keep doing it until you get it right. And I was giving all these examples like Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, movies like that, About Time. I mentioned those 3 examples. It occurred to me while I was editing that behind the scenes video that there was another one. I don't remember the episode title or the season, but there's a really interesting Rick and Morty episode where Morty is given a time travel device, and you just know it's not going to work out well. You know, it's going to be bad. You know, anything that Rick gives Morty is not going to work out well. And then, you know, Morty uses it in exactly this way. He's trying to get a girlfriend, and then he's always rejected. Nothing works out, but then he goes back in time and then revisits that moment. And then every time he makes a mistake, he just hits his time travel button, goes back so he can do it right. And he ends up living this perfect life because he's able to undo every mistake he ever makes. So yeah, Rick and Morty has another very good example of that kind of time travel idea. But yeah, and brand new season of Rick and Morty, season 7, I think. But anyway, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't have anything to say about it. But yeah, Not surprisingly, I love Rick and Morty. You know, can't get enough of that show. So that's it for today. My video has finished exporting. I can go back to my laptop. All right, that's it for this morning, and I'll see you in the next video.